Top of the morning to you ladies. My name's Zero Man Buck. Welcome to the updated / regular release and updated release. Probably said that twice, but you know what? I don't really care because this is every single vehicle that I have so far done. Besides a few of the UTVs, I'll probably put those up at some point later, but I at least got one of them done. These vehicles now have either had completely overhauled parts done to them, they were just finally finished up and ready to go for release, or as all of these now support passengers. So if you have the passenger DLC mod, whatever it is for the Kubota in, you can now sit in one of the passenger seats on all of these vehicles. So to start off with what all has also changed, we'll kind of go from top to bottom. But to finish off first, let's actually go into what is being released today. On the first time, the 1992 Dodge Viper SRT10 and the 1970 Trans Am. So we can find both of those under the cars category. We'll just go right in here quick. The Pontiac Firebird can be starting at $3,300. And it doesn't have too many options, but it's just enough to get everything right. So when we go to the body panels, we can see that you can either get a spoiler, the body fenders, basically the front splitter, and the back wheels. And I wouldn't really call it a splitter, not even really a diffuser. I don't really know what the heck that is. A piece of fender, I don't really know. Or you can get both, and it just looks the best in both. I don't really have any other preferences. And we have the decals. So you can have the original to this generation of Firebirds blue stripe or a custom white stripe. I have yet to actually see one that has a white stripe, but either way, there's a blue and white variant. And then we kind of go to the regular Firebird on hood. So we got a gold bird, silver bird, blue bird, and red bird, or none. The price inflation does carry over to the 2022 inflation, so you can play this as an RP car. It's got two engine options, an L74 Ram Air and an L67 Ram Air, which both of those are manual. This is a 4-speed manual transmission car. And then there's obviously an L67 drag version. The wheel options consist of these 15-inch factories. You can also opt to have the chrome ring put in them. You can then also get the American Racing torque thrusts, the Krager SS's, and what is new, which you guys saw out in the yard with all the other vehicles, is the Formula 400 rims, or just the Formula rims, which can be changed to match the car. Changes the inside mesh. I love those wheels. They look phenomenal, especially when you put on stuff like that. You have the body color, which just consists of the Impala's color palette, I believe. And it also just looks the best with, like, the colors look phenomenal on this car. The interior as well, you can change the color so it all can match. So, there you go. You have a red Firebird. To our next candidate, it is the Dodge Viper, which, like I said, this was the least customizable of the entire group. But it does have the best, in my opinion, sounding, like, engine sounds on the face of the planet. So we got two engine options, the 8-liter V10 and a tuned version of the 8-liter V10 on this thing. Just rips. It's more of a realistic style transmission on this car where first, second, third are a bit shorter of gears, and then once you pop it into fourth, it actually has quite a bit of a drop down in the RPMs. The color palette, it has 4 to 5. It has 5 dedicated colors, and then it just took the colors from the Charger. So that's pretty much it. The rims, you can get them in a couple different colors, but it is just a very nice car. We'll get into that once we get out here. As you guys have already seen, the rest of these cars or trucks, whichever ones it might be, like I said, they have just basically added passenger, but there is something that got a lot more parts added to it. That is the 72 F Series. You're going to want to download the new version of this thing, as I added 3 more rims and changed just a few minor details to it. So with that, you have the original, like I have for work rims. Then you have what I like to call the fancy steel rims. Now this works the exact same way as these, as the white changes with the one part of the body color. I thought about changing a few more things about that rim, but I just think it was good enough to leave it like that. We also now have the original, what I like to call premium, fancy looking chrome 1972 rims. I actually got that off of a Bronco model, so that was kind of cool. I was actually able to find those. And then lastly, what I like to call the mag wheels, 6-slug mag wheels. So A little bit different from the heavy-duty rims that go on for 250 style, but this is just a 6-lug heavy half style that just gives it more of a muscle truck look. So with that, those are the 3 new rims. I did clean up, I just made this window more clear than it was the regular, just because I felt that it needed just a little bit of tuning. But one of the other big things, and this carries over onto the Ram and the Avalanche, is that they have a completely brand new color palette. Besides basically like 5 colors being carried over, this has 32 brand new colors that were added to the lineup. So a lot of these colors like limestone green poly, basically a very fancy lime green metallic. Any of these poly colors, they just look amazing. I love those. It's more of a retro styling to these trucks. I really wanted to make this thing have just that older truck feel to it. And one color that came out beautifully is that saddle tan poly. As we all kind of know, just that it's like one of those tan trucks. Now it looks obviously a little bit more goldish yellow, but once you pair it up with more of a cream colored, it just stands out. Like it just looks so good. So that's the main additions to the 72 Ford, as well as, like I said, the Ram. Also got a few little bug fixes that I noticed with, like the steps. When you had the steps on, or like the big dual steps, they would stay like this or something, or it'd have the wrong step for the backside. That's been fixed, and I just kind of tweaked a few little things inside the truck to make it spiff up, and then, like I also said, that color palette went to the Avalanche. So, that's the main of the actual store quality stuff. So what we'll do now is we'll take out the Firebird, since that is true. But just kind of show you guys, like I was saying, with the passenger. So we do got a nice little guy. He just kind of sits in there, and all the cameras do work. It's really nice to finally see a different perspective inside these vehicles. I did fix a handful of the visual errors on the outside. Like, for some reason, when Giants decided to take out like a certain texture in the editor, it made it like a weird looking mesh on some of the chromes. Well, that's been fixed now on the Impala, as well as mainly the 72 Ford. I've yet to really notice it on anything else so far, so that's just kind of a thing. But let's pop into the 1972 Trans Am. A few of these vehicles also acquired new sounds. So, like I said, this is a 4-speed manual transmission. I did take out the shift sound, so it's a lot nicer just to be driving down the road and not have to hear a clunk, clunk, clunk. So let's take this for a little bit of a spin. I believe this has the bigger L67 in it, so we might be able to get up and go a little bit faster. This car is not tremendously quick, but it does get its way going. It's just kind of got an old school sound to it. Nothing fancy, but I will head back to the shop. There were 3 vehicles that had their sounds changed from what they originally were. One being this 70 Trans Am that had some new sounds that I got put on it. I was going to change the sounds for the Impala, but the 409 just sounds good on that car already, so I didn't really mess with it. The Fords didn't change. The Mustang did. This originally had the 72 Ford sounds on it, and now it's got a slightly different tone to it. The Dodge Charger also had a sound change, but we'll get to that one in a second, because I want to take this thing for a spin. Because this thing sounds phenomenal. So nothing fancy, just I wanted to give the car a little bit more of a muscle. Even though it already had it from the Ford, it was just a bit more subtle. This is a little bit more on the aggressive side. So going on to the Viper, which is going to be the next one that's officially being released today, this has some of, I kid you not, the best sounding V10 sounds. This thing sounds phenomenal. It's got some of the best shifting sounds. It's got some of the best idles. I mean, this car, for as undetailed as it is, has some of the best, I kid you not, the best sounds. Got a very nice sports car handling, so if you guys were to say take this into a map and start racing it, its acceleration's not going to win you anything compared to maybe some fast cars 2s in this game, but for overall like handling to performance and everything else, this car can just take the corners. I mean, it'll throw itself loose, but it's got some power to it. And last but certainly not least, the Charger, which I said also had the brand new sounds. So once we pop in here, as we all know, I gave it some very, very overly aggressive sounds for the actual profile. Well, that has since been changed. Now it is a lot more subtle, and every car has now been equipped with a correct, or at least better style of horn. So, it sounds like a regular car. If it is the 1970s, it's gotten an old car horn, and like one of the biggest complaints that I got off of the F-Series was, hey, why not change the horn? Well, now it has that horn. Don't worry, the General retained its horn. That part stayed, but a lot of these just pretty much have been added with passenger. But let's take the Charger out for one quick spin. Right now we are in the Demon variant, so we're obviously going to be able to go relatively quick. Let's just kind of get up on the road and we'll hear what this sounds like. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. Like I stated in the very beginning of the video, all the links to these mods can be found in the description down below. Be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it. I will see you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out.